Creations. If you're new to my channel and you're stopping by for the first time, thank you for stopping by. Welcome to my channel. Stick around a while by clicking that red button for more crafting on a budget, more everything on a budget videos to come. And if you click it again when the bell appears, YouTube should notify you every time I'm uploading a new video, depending on the option that you choose in the drop-down menu of the bell. If you're interested in following me on social media, you can find those links, you guessed it, in the description box below. So what do I have going on for you for today? Today I am bringing to you a subscriber request for a recreation. Now this is a piece that this subscriber saw, she liked it, and she messaged me on Facebook Messenger asking me if I could recreate it. This request comes from Barbara, and I just happened to be on Facebook one day, and as I was on there kind of updating my page, her message popped up, I saw the picture, I clicked on it, and I had the pleasure of chatting with her for about a half an hour. It was really fun, Barbara. It was really good to chat with you and get to know you and just to get to, I guess, interact with one of my subscribers. And so when Barbara sent me this picture, I knew that this was a piece that I could most definitely recreate using Dollar Tree items and do it for a very budget-friendly cost. And so I am really excited about the outcome of this DIY. Barbara, I hope you like my spin and twist and version of it. I think that it is a very budget-friendly piece, and I'm excited to be bringing it to you. So let me quit my gabbing, let's jump into it, and let me show you my spin and my twist and my version of this piece that Barbara sent me to recreate. For today's DIY, I will be using these 3 Halloween Beware plaques that I had in my stash that I just picked up this past Halloween. I'm using these today because I love this edge that is on each side of them. Right about now, you can get some Easter plaques that are the same size in length. They're not gonna have the beveled edge, but it'll work. These plaques are a good plaque to keep in your stash when you see them for making signs. I'm gonna start off by taking some Dollar Tree spackling, and I'm gonna fill in those 6 holes that are at the top of each of these plaques because our sign today does not need holes in it. So why have holes if you can fill them? What does Kayla call this? Hole filler? I don't remember. If you haven't seen Kayla's voiceovers on my video, you'll have to head on over to her channel because she has a really funny take on how I do my DIYs. It is sure to keep you laughing. Because I'll be using the back side of these plaques for this DIY, I'm gonna go ahead and flip them over to the decorative side, and this is the side that I'm gonna use to glue these plaques together. And so I'm gonna glue all 3 of them together, but before I do that, I have found that using masking tape to actually hold the plaques together, you get a better hold and a tighter fit, I would say. And so I'm using some of Dollar Tree's masking tape, and I'm gonna go ahead and put it in about 6 different places just to really hold these together. Then I'm gonna take some of the jumbo popsicle sticks. I'm gonna cut these in half because I don't need them the full length. And when I glue these onto my plaques, I'm not gonna glue them on longwise because not enough of the stick is on each of the plaques. And so I found that if I lay it across longwise and just put them 2 on each plaque, I get a nice good hold, especially using the masking tape as well. Using some of Aleene's tacky glue, that's the glue I'm gonna use. If you wanna use a wood glue, you can totally do that. It really is your preference. Dollar Tree has Aleene's glue. This is a great glue. I have seen great results with it. It's never let me down, and so this is the perfect glue for this, and it dries quickly. My plaques are good and dry. Spackling is dry, so it is safe to take a lightweight sandpaper and just run over it to smooth out those areas that we filled in the holes. Now for this piece, the original piece kind of has a gradient look or an ombre look to it. It starts out dark at the top, I think, and goes light at the bottom or vice versa. And so I'm gonna use colors that match my decor style. And so at the bottom of this plaque, I'm gonna start off with just some of Waverly's white chalk paint, and I'm only gonna go halfway up the plaque. Then on the top half, I'm gonna use some of Waverly's cashew, and again, I'm gonna go halfway down, but once I reach the middle of this, I'm gonna try and blend the 2 colors together so there's not a sharp line. And you can do that using a bit of water and a little bit of paint, and then you'll get kind of that faded, clouded look in the middle, and that's what you want. It really is just as simple as kind of using both colors and blending them together until you've got a nice transition there in the middle. And I'm really sorry that my camera keeps going in and out of focus. I also did add a bit of the cashew to the bottom half where the white is, just to kind of add some of that color into it. And on the top, I added some of the white, and you can just see how I lightly added it with a dry brush stroke and a little bit of water. My sign is dry, and I couldn't be happier with the way the color turned out. Now on this, you can see that there are these lines on the edges. They are a very distinct line. So to achieve those, I'm going to use some of Waverly's wax, and I'm going to use one of these fan brushes. Now this took me about a couple hours to figure out how to get these lines because they were very distinct, and you can't do it with just a regular paintbrush. And when I saw this brush, I knew that is the brush I need to use to achieve the look that is going around the outside of this plaque. And so using my Waverly wax, if you don't have wax, you can use a watered down paint as well, but you don't want much on it. You don't want to go on with a heavy hand. You want to lightly brush over the top of your plaque in the areas that you want these lines. If you go too hard, it's gonna look like a smudged look, and you really just want that feathered light look where the original color of the plaque is still coming through those dark lines that you're putting over the top of it. So you can see that the lines are looking a bit harsh. They are looking very distinct, but it's not gonna look that way. Once this is dry, I'm gonna go in with a sandpaper and I'm gonna soften this up just a bit. When sanding a piece like this, you wanna use a very light grade sandpaper, and we're not sanding to distress, we're sanding to soften up the lines so it all kind of blends together and your eye isn't just being drawn to those dark spots and lines that we put onto the plaque. For today's recreation, I will be using these two hearts. These are a Valentine's Day DIY pack, an ornament pack. They now come in an 8-pack, used to be a 5-pack. This larger heart, you can get year-round at the Dollar Tree in the wood section by Crafter's Square. Again, using my spackling, I'm gonna fill in the holes on 5 of the wood hearts and just this one larger heart. And you know the drill, just to be thorough, I'm sanding those spots where the spackling is once it dried. Now, if you don't want to sand it, you can always take a wet sponge or a paper towel and lightly wipe over it while it's wet, and that'll remove some of the excess spackling as well. When painting these 6 hearts, the large one and the 5 smaller ones, I'm going to start off with some of the white paint, the chalk paint, and I'm gonna fully paint the hearts with that. Then I'm gonna go back in with the cashew and just lightly tie in the cashew. I'm not gonna do the kind of gradient from top to bottom because I want these to be a bit different than the sign, but I still wanna tie them in with the colors. So you can see how the hearts tie in, but they look a bit different than the original plaque. Now keep in mind, there are alternatives to the larger heart. Dollar Tree carries the larger flower and the star by Crafter's Square, and along with them, you can use these wood cutouts. Either one of them will work. Now with these, I am gonna go in again with that feather brush. I don't know if that's what it's called. Somebody tell me. I'm just making up names. I guess I sound like Kayla, don't I? And I'm gonna go in with the Waverly wax and add some of those lines as well. Using a bit of a stiffer brush, I'm gonna go along the edges and I'm gonna add that clouded, kind of faded, distressed look just to soften up those edges, because you can see that before you add this, the edges of the heart are very sharp. And so we're looking for a softer look that's gonna blend. I don't like sharp, harsh lines. I feel like your eye just kind of draws to those lines versus looking at something in a hole. And so when you add some of that distressed, clouded edging to something, it just softens it up and everything just kind of blends together. And you can see how those edges just kind of don't even show anymore. Easy peasy. And I'm going to do that to the smaller hearts as well. Now moving on to the stickers. Are these stickers or lettering that you're going to find at the Dollar Tree? Highly doubtful. But Linda and we got together and we put together this vinyl sticker pack that you can purchase in her Etsy store for $10 with free shipping. And that also includes up to 3 names that she will personalize for you. If you're interested in getting these stickers as a PNG file and having an instant download, you can do that as well. And you're gonna get that for $3. And that too includes up to 3 names that she'll personalize for you. You just need to DM her on Etsy, let her know what names you want and how to spell them. You can find the link to her store in the description box below. On the little hearts, I'm gonna go ahead and put each of our names. And so I've got my vinyl on my transfer paper, and just as easy as it looks, and it really is easy, I'm gonna go ahead and place my vinyl sticker on my heart. Then using a scraper or a credit card, I'm gonna run over that transfer tape, adhering the name onto my hearts. And each of the hearts is gonna have one of our names. Isn't that cool? So easy. I love working with vinyl. You can do this using cardstock too. You just use a spray adhesive on the back side to adhere it onto your hearts. So vinyl is not a must. And again, with this large heart, I'm gonna go ahead and put the word love. Before I do the rest of the wording, putting the family and the saying, I wanted to lay out my pieces just so I had the spacing, but when I lay these out, I am not gonna glue them down until the end. I just kind of wanna get an idea of where I want everything, and so when I place the rest of the wording down, if I need to move anything, I can. And so you really just always want to do that when you're doing a bigger piece like this, because I don't know if this bigger heart is going to be in the way and if I need to move it. So I want to have the capability of moving anything around if I need to. So I pretty much have the idea of where I want everything, but you can see what I mean about needing to move things if you need to. And so I'm gonna go ahead, and when I do these, I'm going to do them line by line. And I believe that that's how Linda is gonna send them to you. She's not gonna send you the whole piece. And she does that to keep the shipping down. It'll be, I think, line by line, or it might be word for word. Again, that is so she doesn't have to charge you shipping. If it's a bigger package, it's gonna cost her more, then she'd have to charge you for shipping. And so in order to give free shipping, she does it piece by piece or line by line. I'm not sure. You can message her on Etsy and ask her. She might even have it in the description box. But I know I can safely go ahead and put my family word here. And again, I'm just gonna use my scraper once I got it in place and go over that transfer paper, and then you can easily just peel up that transfer paper. And as you're peeling it up, you wanna kind of keep your scraper in your hand. So if some of the vinyl didn't stick, you can easily just kind of run over it with your scraper and continue to pull your transfer tape up. But I think with this one, I got lucky and it came up in one fair swoop. And so here with this, it's gonna be easier for me just to go ahead and do it line by line. And I feel like that way I can get the spacing that I need. Again, I'm not sure how Linda's gonna send it to you. I just wanna convey to you that it doesn't come in one full sheet because of shipping cost. Now that we've got all the vinyl down, it is safe to go ahead and glue down the rest of our pieces. And I am excited because I am loving the way this looks. And I'm just gonna glue down these pieces using hot glue. If you wanna use Aleene's or something else, you totally can, but hot glue is gonna work just fine. And to finish this piece off, I am going to go in with some of Tim Holtz Walnut Distress ink, and I'm gonna soften up those edges along the whole outside of this plaque. And to hang this piece up, you guessed it, I'm using some twine with a couple of knots. This twine is a couple strands thick. I'm gonna use a generous amount of hot glue, maybe a stick or two, to adhere it onto the back of these plaques. If this is something you're not comfortable with because you're afraid it's not gonna hold, You can use sawtooth hangers if you want. Dollar Tree has them, and they can hammer into the back, or you can glue them onto the back. I've never had a problem with twine, so that's what I use. And there you have it. Here is my recreation of this family, a little bit of crazy, a little bit of loud, and a whole lot of love that Barbara asked me to recreate. Let's go hang this up. Guess what? It's Friday, and oh my word, Kayla has uploaded another video. If you are in need of a good laugh, you need to head on over there. You can find the link to her video in the description box below, because today's video is guaranteed to make you laugh. Okay, so I'm gonna say that this recreation was pretty stinking close. I was really nervous about the brush strokes that I needed to somehow recreate, because it wasn't something that I had ever done before. And I tell you, I was sitting there looking at my paintbrushes, just scratching my head thinking, okay, how could I dry brush stroke this? And when I did it, the strokes just didn't look the same. When I saw that fan brush, and I knew, ding, 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 that is the brush that I need to use to get those lines, and it worked perfectly. So again, you can do that using watered down paint, you could do that using the Waverly Antique Wax, or you could even do it using an ink pad. There are so many different options. Just get creative, really challenge yourself, and just try new things. And I think that if you love this recreation, you should most definitely try to recreate it. I had a lot of fun doing it. Barbara, thank you for sending me this request and asking me to do this recreation. I hope you like what I came up with, and I think that it is definitely a very budget-friendly alternative to the one that you saw and found, and I think that you can do it for just a fraction of the cost, even if you have to buy some stickers from Linda. I think that when you're DIYing and creating, sometimes it's just really fun to create it yourself instead of buy a piece. And so that's why I DIY and I craft, because I like putting my touch, my spin, and making it my own. And so I hope you all enjoyed today's recreation of this piece brought to me, or requested to me, by Barbara. Thank you again, Barbara. Please make sure to give this video a big thumbs up, and let's get this video to, you guessed it, 5,000 likes. Because like I always say, each and every one of your thumbs up and those comments that you do leave down below, they really do help my channel to grow, and it helps YouTube to notice me just a bit more. Until next time, everybody, I hope you have a fantastic day. Happy crafting on a budget. Happy everything on a budget. Stay happy, stay safe, stay healthy, but most of all, stay